We'll call to order tonight's Committee of the Whole for the Auburn City Council meeting for November the 1st, 2022. The council should have the minutes from the October 8th Committee of the Whole. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? If not, is there a move to approve?
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries. Building Board of Adjustments and Appeals. Mayor Pro Tem Whitten.
Yes, sir. We have two vacancies. Term begins November 3rd, 2022, and ends November 2nd, 2026. We have two incumbents. Brad Harrison has served one full term, and Michael Schumacher has served one full term. I would like to nominate Brad Harrison for a second term.
Second.
All right, have a motion and a second to nominate Brad Harrison for his second term. Any comments or questions from the council? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And we will appoint Brad Harrison later on in the agenda.
And for the second vacancy, I would like to nominate Michael Schumacher for a second full term.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for Michael Schumacher. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion carries, and we'll confirm that later on in the agenda. Questions on the agenda for tonight for the city manager? Any questions from the council?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, thank
Yep.
you. We have numerous items on the agenda tonight for equipment purchases, vehicle purchases and whatnot, which is relatively routine for us. But I've been asked, why is it that what's our criteria for replacing vehicles and what happens with the vehicles that become surplus? So instead of me pulling each of those off the consent agenda, I'd appreciate if the city manager would give us an explanation of that either now or prior to the consent agenda commencing.
Okay.
Be happy to explain now.
Sure, go ahead.
First, to surplusing in general, we use equipment as best as we can. That's vehicles, tractors, weed eaters, what have you, as long as we can, where we can keep the equipment in service, because if a piece of equipment goes down, sometimes we do not have backups and we cannot perform certain services. We keep them as long as we can, as repair costs are reasonable, and we're able to keep them in service. And we rely heavily on a very talented fleet maintenance division and our environmental services department to help make those recommendations, particularly when it comes to repairs. I've even had a question, who does all of our repairs? Our city team does the vast majority of repairs on our equipment. There is some equipment that is either so specialized it is beyond their expertise, although they have expertise in many areas. But we don't take it lightly in terms of replacing something. You'll see a vehicle tonight or different vehicles. Our now Public Works Director was driving a nice pickup truck that caught fire at Donahue and Glen Avenue, and we lost a pickup truck, and you'll see the burned out pictures in your packet. There are times that's blatantly obvious, but you'll see a Chevy Colorado pickup truck that was purchased in 2010 that only has 46,000 miles on it, but if you notice the repair costs on it, they're astronomical, and that thing was supposed to be surplused out more than 4 years ago, but due to COVID and us holding the line on budget, we did not surplus it out. So what do we do with vehicles when we do surplus and or tractors and other things? There's a great partner that we have called GovDeals, govdeals.com. You can look it up on the internet, and it's kind of like the eBay for governmental sales, and there's plenty of fantastic equipment that is heavily used from cities all over the nation on there, and you post very similar to eBay. They get a percentage cut of 7.5% is our latest contract amount. And we have found over the years, and I don't know how many years, Allison, we've been using GovDeals.
Since 2005.
We have found that we have gotten a lot more money for our vehicles on there. We can set no starting bid amount. We can do many things, but we do sell everything that we can surplus out. Now, there are rare circumstances to adjacent jurisdictions, such as last year you approved some sale of some of our Ford Explorers to Tuskegee. The city of Tuskegee, and sometimes we deal in fire trucks to volunteer fire departments. Sometimes we do some direct sales, especially in the region, to help neighboring areas and try to, still they often pay for those things, but we work out a fair price, and that always comes to you when we do those things.
Okay. And Megan, all these purchases are items that we have passed in the budget that have been discussed and vetted with the departments and the department heads and your staff. And
absolutely, and as a matter of fact, they not only do they go through that, they probably, just because it's in the budget, there are times that we won't proceed. If something comes up, we don't like pricing, we change our minds. So even if it's in the budget and it's been heavily vetted, it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to propose to you to purchase it. So that's how careful we are, and we want to be good stewards of the taxpayer dollars. So we're very, very careful, and I'm not letting it pass my desk if I'm not willing to recommend to you 100% that we should buy something.
Any other questions for the city manager?
Mayor, I have a few housekeeping things if
Please.
nobody has any questions. On the agendas in front of you, not what's in front of people sitting in the room or what's posted on the website, item 8B1 reflects a purchase price of $39,800, and it should be $36,695.07. And we reposted that. And then item 8B7, we've changed out the resolution for you for two reasons. One, the state contract number where we're able to buy things without bidding through state contract was left out of the resolution. And lo and behold, we have found out today we got a price increase, not because we wanted one. And Dan, remind me, it is a steel price increase surcharge? Correct. And so it is on our crack sealing machine, which I know is a funny name, but it's a very necessary thing to maintain our roads, but I'm not happy about this price increase, but right now, equipment's hard to come by, so I'm asking for your approval. The actual increase is a little over $3,600 due to steel, but we're gonna be running that down through our procurement person to make sure it's still meeting all contractual items, but I'm asking for your approval tonight with the price increase. So that's why you have a new resolution in front of you. And then last, the tree commission, I sent you an email where we have twice now posted it and not had any applicants. And now we've had a fourth person resign. 3 were up for some sort of change in term, and a fourth person has resigned. I've gotten with Becky Richardson and other staff members. At least 3 people have shown interest in applying. We need more than 3 people to apply. We have 4 positions, so we're going to be pushing out some more PR, and I'm very hopeful that at the next city council meeting, we can appoint some people to the tree commission.
Can we run down real fast what the tree commission does so that those who may be listening might pique their interest?
Becky,
They make-
microphone, please.
oh, sorry. They make recommendations to Parks and Recreation and Public Works as far as tree planting, also special projects that may involve tree removals and such. An example is the invasive materials removal that they've been doing on Shell Toomer along the trail there. And they also work with the city when the city establishes tree planting plans in various areas.
And how often do they meet?
They meet once a month on the first Friday of the month.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions from the council on the additional items that the city manager brought forward? Okay, they're moved to close the, adjourn the committee of the whole.
So moved.
All right, we are adjourned. Committee of the whole, it is 6:03, so I'll go ahead and open up the general meeting of the Auburn City Council for November the 1st, 2022. Roll call, Lindsay.
Dawson,
Here.
Dixon,
Here.
Griswold,
Here.
Hovey,
Here.
Parsons, Stevens. Here. Taylor,
Here.
Mitten,
Here.
Anders.
Here. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, then remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Under Mayor's announcements tonight, I want to thank all of our departments for a great downtown trick-or-treat. Since I've been the mayor, I think that was the biggest crowd I have seen downtown, and a lot of enthusiasm. There were a number of city departments that made this happening. The downtown merchants, many of those stayed open late to participate and have fun. They were dressed up and having a good time with the children, and I'm grateful for everybody. I hope everything went well in our neighborhoods last night and everything was safely gone about with trick-or-treat, and appreciate everybody participating, particularly downtown. Veterans Day is a week from Friday, and we'll have the Veterans Day ceremony across the street at the Veterans Memorial at 10 o'clock on Friday the 11th. And certainly we encourage our community to join us as we stop and say thank you to our veterans who have served our country and allow us the freedom to do things like we're doing tonight, having a democratic municipal government. Interestingly enough, once we're all sworn in next week, and by the time we go to the Veterans Day, we'll have 2 veterans that'll be serving us here on the City Council, and we certainly appreciate their efforts as well. But anyway, please be with us. The ceremony usually takes around 30 minutes, and weather permitting, if the weather's a little dicey, we'll come in here and have our Veterans Day ceremony inside here. The State of the City has been rescheduled. I want to remind our community it's on November the 16th at the Googe Performing Arts Center at 5:30. Please come by and hear about what's going on in your community and what will be going on potentially in the future in your community. And I'll be proud to recognize 6 members of our city with the Mayor's Lamplighter Awards. That's at 5:30, and that will last about an hour. The new City Council will be sworn in next Monday. There'll be a ceremony here at noon for all of us to be sworn in, and including our 3 new members. And this is open to the public, and we're very excited about the new council and their efforts. This morning I was invited and was fortunate to be a part of the Farm City Breakfast. It's a great group of people who support and promote farming in Lee County. They serve a wonderful breakfast, and I appreciate their invitation to be over there. Also, recently, I was able to deliver a proclamation for Head Start Awareness Month and went and visited the A to Z daycare in the south part of Auburn, and what a special and unique service that our Head Starts provide many of our citizens here in Auburn, and we appreciate their work. And I was also had an opportunity to speak to the Christian Women's Job Corps just last week, and that's another special service, special ministry that is assisting women with their opportunities to find their way in the workplace. Certainly want to thank Auburn University and President Roberts and Mrs. Roberts for the 2 dinners they recently held, recognizing and thanking our public safety officials and professionals in our community. Those were very nice dinners, and I'm just grateful that they see the importance in recognizing and thanking those people who protect us each and every day. The Alzheimer's Walk happened a couple of weeks ago, and great turnout from our community. And the Down Syndrome Walk, these happened on the same day, almost at the same time. And Mayor Pro Tem Witten, thank you for attending the Down Syndrome Walk in my absence. But once again, 2 great nonprofits that are trying to do great things for our community. Chief Dawson, I want to say congratulations to you. You're a new granddaddy for the 2nd time this morning, and had a little girl named Addie, and we look forward to getting to know her. And congratulations to you.
God is good.
Yep, congratulations. This Thursday will be a special event at the Googe Performing Arts Center as the Auburn University has decided to rename the amphitheater for Bill and Carol Ham. Bill, as many of you know, was a longtime mayor, 5-term mayor here, served on the city council for 3 terms, and Auburn University has made the determination to rename the amphitheater for Bill and Carol Ham. We are certainly excited about the ceremony that will be at 4 o'clock at the Googe Performing Arts Center this week, and look forward to recognizing Bill and Carol for all their great work. A couple of weekends ago, the Big Ten mayors came to Auburn. They were here from Sunday through Monday at lunch. I'm grateful for our staff here who did a lot of organizing and preparation for those mayors to come to our community. The meeting really went off very well. We were very blessed to have such a fine hotel in the Auburn University Hotel and Conference Center, and the Laurel. They were able to go to the rooftop of the Laurel, and Dr. Roberts fed the mayors at his house that night. And then we had a very powerful press conference on Monday with Anaya Blanchard's family as we spoke to Anaya's Law. But I want to thank our staff and thank all the people that helped make that Big Ten Mayors meeting excellent, and it was excellent. Next Tuesday is a statewide election. There are a number of things on the ballot that are of interest in people that are running for office here locally and statewide. But Amendment 1 is Anaya's Law, and y'all have heard me say this before, but this was a young lady who came to Auburn, and she was at Southern Union, and her dream was to come to Auburn University, and that was taken away from her by somebody who should not have been out of jail. And by passing Anaya's Law, we'll give judges in our state the ability to keep those violent offenders behind, locked up and behind bars, and not on the streets if they were able to bail out. And so I encourage everyone to think seriously about this, do your own research, but please vote for Anaya's Law next Tuesday as you go cast your votes for the other races that you are interested in. That's all I have on my list tonight. Any other council members that have anything they'd like to mention?
I do, Mayor, if I may.
Please.
I have several, so bear with me. I feel like I'm got Ron's list in front of me. This past week, I had the honor to take 9 young leaders from Future Farmers of America, their team from the Auburn High School, to the Indianapolis, Indiana Convention, the 95th National Convention. It was pretty amazing, and the veterinary science team took home bronze and silver recognition, and we had one young lady who took home 10th place in another field. So pretty proud of our Future Farmers of America members. We often give accolades to our athletes, so I think sometimes it's nice to give to those who do other things. Then on, on Saturday, the Day of Remembrance ceremony will be held at the Lee County Courthouse Square at 10 a.m., and I will be standing in for the mayor there for that event. And then on Sunday, St. Luke's Christian Methodist Episcopal Church will be hosting their 150th anniversary celebration. And again, I'll be representing the mayor at that celebration as well. And then finally, I'll be hosting a Ward 3 stakeholder meeting on Monday the 7th at the Cary Creek Courthouse at 5:30 p.m. And my guest will be Dr. Kristen Herring, Superintendent of Auburn City Schools, and we will be discussing the second high school that is slated for 2027.
Thank you, Ms. Witten. Thank you for taking my place this weekend. I appreciate that. Any other comments or announcements from the council? Okay, at this time, if I could have Ms. Stevens and Mr. Dixon and Mr. Hovey join me down front,
Mayor,
please.
real quick, it's employee recognitions.
Oh. Let's stop and do that then. Mayor Ron Anders, and I'm proud to introduce you to the City of Auburn Employee of the Month for the month of November. I have a memorandum here from Dan Ballard, the Director of Public Works. I would like to nominate Kevin Helms as the City of Auburn's November 2022 Employee of the Month. Kevin began his career as a maintenance worker with the City of Auburn's Maintenance Division in November of 2017. Within 2 years, Kevin was promoted to crew leader within the Maintenance Division. Kevin exhibits an admirable and steadfast work ethic and attitude on a daily basis and an impeccable record of attendance and punctuality. Kevin consistently and reliably takes the personal initiative to resolve issues as they arise and rarely requires the assistance of his manager. Kevin performs his daily duties while modeling the city's core values, showing respect, upholding the integrity of our organization through his honesty and professionalism, and through his commitment to serving our community to the best of his abilities. Kevin has demonstrated these qualities in times of crisis as well, whether performing asphalt patches, removing obstructions from drainage ways, or clearing debris. Kevin does so as a model of commitment to quality public service. Kevin exemplifies the qualities that our citizens need and deserve of their public servants, and he has earned the respect and admiration of his coworkers while providing a positive example for others to aspire to. For these reasons, I nominate Kevin Helms for the city's Employee of the Month for November 2022. Congratulations. Thanks, sir. Again, thank you to all of our employees. We're proud to recognize Kevin as our Employee of the Month. Congratulations to Deborah and Randy in their retirement, but thank all of our employees for what they do. Okay, let's go down front. Jennifer, Stephen, and Jake, if you would.
Okay. front and center.
All right, so tonight is the final meeting for this current council that was sworn in November of 2018. What an unusual 4 years it has been. Certainly, when we were all sworn in November of 18, we didn't expect to have a pandemic, among other things, to force us inside and force us to meet virtually. Among the other challenges that we have met as a city as we face the loss of a police officer for the first time. But we've gotten through it, and the reason we got through it is because we had outstanding leadership and outstanding service. And so tonight we want to recognize these three who will be are conducting their final months here with the City Council as we get ready to bring in the new council members next week. So to Jay, Stephen, and Jennifer, thank you for what you've done. Thank you for the way you've served your community. We appreciate everything, and we look forward to working with you in the future. And we have some very, very nice plaques that I'd like to present to you. And as I told you earlier, there's a nice box that you need to make sure you put this in so it doesn't break. Ladies and gentlemen, if y'all all join me in giving a hand. Okay, I apologize for getting a little bit out of order. During our committee of the whole tonight, we made 2 appointments to the Building Board of Adjustments and Appeals that we'll confirm later on in the agenda. Brad Harrison and Michael Schumacher, who had served 1 full term, were reappointed for a 2nd full term. Okay, this time we'll move forward with Auburn University communications.
Hi, everyone. Happy November. Pretty short report again from me today. To start us off, we would like to thank the mayor and the city manager and other city staff for another very successful city breakfast. As always, we're very thankful for the listening ear that they provide for student voices. And one of the things that we talked about was promoting the new What's Happening in the City initiative on the SGA Instagram so that students can be more informed about things that happen at these council meetings with the Downtown Merchants Association and other just events going on around campus. So as always, if any of you have anything that's going on that you would like more student representation at, more student voice in, please reach out to me and let me know so that I can help or so that I can put you in contact with someone else that can help. But we're really hoping that that initiative is going to help get students out into the community more. Next, our big news this week, Auburn has a new athletic director. John Cohen, coming in from Mississippi State, has years and years of experience as an SEC athletic director, and we're very excited for everything that he brings to the table and thankful for the diligence of President Roberts in making that hiring decision. If you or anyone that you know is especially qualified as a head football coach, now would be a good time to send your resume in. But also with athletics, men's basketball has an exhibition game against UAH tomorrow, so we're entering into what I think is the best time of year. We're very excited and really hoping for the same level of support that we've experienced in previous years. So please, I know the tickets are kind of insane right now, but if you're able to make it to a game, please do, because that is a hot ticket and that is so much fun. But that is all from me this week. If you have any questions or anything, please reach out to me as usual. War Eagle.
Thank you, Olivia. Okay. We'll move forward now with citizens' communications on items on tonight's agenda. Remember, this is just items that are on tonight's agenda. If you'd like to speak to the city council, please come forward and give your name and address for the record, and you'll have 5 minutes to speak. Okay, not seeing anyone. We'll move forward with city manager's communications.
Mayor, good evening. Under City Manager's Communications, we have the announcement of 1 vacancy to the Public Park and Recreation Board. And again, that's the Public Park and Recreation Board, not the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, 2 very different boards. The 6-year term begins December 19th, 2022, and ends December 18th, 2028. Your packets actually showed this as a 4-year appointment, but it's actually a 6-year appointment. So I have no other announcements if you're ready for the consent agenda.
Please.
Does any council member wish to remove an item from the consent agenda and deal with that item individually?
Anyone? Okay, if not, is there a move to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The consent agenda passes.
Under ordinances this evening, item 9A amends Chapter 12 of City Code to add a provision that establishes a process for revocation of a business license and sets forth circumstances under which a business license may be revoked. This is the second reading of this item.
Certainly, I mentioned this at our work session on Thursday. Ms. Crouch, I want to make sure I follow the right protocol. Do we still need to have a motion?
You could, if you're wanting to postpone. you
Yes,
can
I am
just
wanting
move
to postpone. Okay, so we do need a motion and a second?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
Remember, a motion is only a motion to put the business on the table, does
Yeah.
not mean that you're voting for anything other than to put the business on the table.
Move for approval.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. At this time, I'd like to ask the city council to consider, I'd like to make a motion to postpone until the first meeting in December, which is December the 6th.
Correct.
I'd like to second that.
All right, so I have a motion and a second. I know there might be some other discussion. My point is this is, I just believe there's more conversation that needs to be held in our community, that there are more questions to be asked. There's more meetings to be had. I believe in the next month, we can square all that up and we can discuss the things that we understand and talk about the things we don't understand and come together in a month and discuss this again. I do believe fundamentally that this is a tool that the city needs to help create a level playing field with our businesses and our community. That's a philosophical statement. Obviously, details are important and mechanisms are important, and this gives us a chance to discuss that and discuss all things. But that's certainly my intent with asking us to postpone. Any other comments or questions from anyone?
I appreciate that, Ron. I do philosophically agree that an issuing body deserves the right for revocation, but I think that something as important as the revocation of a business license deserves some specificity and fine tuning. And I appreciate the notion that we might be able to kind of really define what parameters would dictate such a move. So I appreciate the willingness to do so.
Good word. Any other comments? All right, so we have a motion and a second to postpone to December 6th. Do I need to take a roll call or is that a voice vote?
No, just a voice vote. It's
Okay,
fine.
all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll carry that forth to December.
Under Resolutions, item 10A1 is a request from Mobay Beignet Company LLC for a transfer of an outdoor cafe permit for property located at 155 North College Street in the urban core and College Edge Overlay District. A public hearing is required.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. This time I'll open the public hearing. If you'd like to address the city council, please come forward and give us your name and address for the record. Seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing. Ms. Crouch, you explained to us on Thursday the purpose of this is, and I'll let you repeat that, please, for our audience tonight.
So a outdoor cafe permit is required in city code. That's the use of the city's sidewalk for purposes of a business, and we moved to allow this some time ago. And Mobay Beignet Company just had this approved in February, but it's had a change of ownership, and city code says when there's a change of ownership, we have to go back through the process. It's important. Folks that do this were very amenable to it at the staff level, but they also indemnify the city, and they pay $1 a square foot a year because state law says we have to charge something.
Okay.
Big bucks. Not really. Okay.
All right, any comments or questions for the city manager? Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion carries.
Mayor, those are all the items of business we have for you this evening.
Okay, this time we'll open the citizens' open forum. If you'd like to address the city council, we ask that you please come forward and give us your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes to speak, and please address all your comments to the city council. Yes, sir.
Cosgrove, 1927 Watercrest Drive. And I wanted to personally attest that the trick-or-treaters were out last night in the Ashton Park area. I handed out my 17th year of 800 pieces of Tootsie Roll Pops and candy and so forth. We live on a corner right there, so there's a lot of action, but it was a lot of fun out there too. I wanted to really express appreciation to Jay, Stephen, Jennifer for your time here. Won't be able to see you up here, but whatever your path leads to you in life, we really wish you well and good luck with everything. I do have I'd shared with Beth a couple of times the traffic in and around Ashton Park and so forth. If and when there's ever the opening of Watercrest, the south end of Watercrest Drive, which is on the hill coming down, I really implore you to strongly consider a traffic circle there. The vehicles travel way too fast. There's too many kids there. I get up every morning at 5:15 during the school day. I did this last year, did it this year, and I put out 3 orange cones there to slow the traffic down because the school buses stop right there at our corner, and there's about 16 or 18 kids and their moms and dads and so forth. They, by the way, they take the initiative to put the cones back. But it gets the attention, particularly for the cut-through type traffic from 280 coming down, flying right down Watercrest and turning on Ashton Lane into, to College Street and south. So if there, I would strongly welcome another speed hump or bump, whatever it's called, right there by our driveway. I would welcome that too. The ingress traffic off of North College Street coming into Ashton Park, it's been vastly improved. We've been, like I said, we're in our 17th year there. Having that turn lane coming in there has been vastly improved. However, there's still the hashed yellow mark that gives the illusion. It's 1/10 of a mile up from that ingress egress. And it gives the illusion that they can just highball. And if there's a large vehicle there, a bus, a school bus or anything, the vehicles cannot see who's coming out and so forth. So there's some obfuscation there. Also, any traffic on South College going down to East University Drive, if you're in the left-hand lane, you're almost out. It's almost impossible for an 18-wheeler to turn there. I've seen 5 or 6 vehicles stacked up there, and it becomes almost impossible. If that stop line could be moved back about 15 or about 12 to 15 feet, that would really make a difference. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thank you, Ms. Crouch. What steps would we need to take to figure out if a traffic circle, which I personally think we do need something at that intersection. Years ago, I asked for a 3-way stop because I do know that the south end of Watercrest will eventually open, and that will turn into a blind hill. So what would we need to do from the city's perspective to figure out if a traffic circle or some other calming device could go there?
Well, those are 2 different things. So traffic circle is meant to facilitate the movement through an intersection, and the volumes would have to justify the construction of such. One of the challenges with this intersection is a traffic circle would likely require acquiring property from everybody around that vicinity, and is highly unusual, a larger one that would circulate an intersection like that in the middle of a neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And so it's something that can certainly, yes, there's traffic calming on one way, that's a different style of one. That's just it's 4 ways, but your volumes are slightly different, and it's not a T intersection. This is something as Watercrest, if and when it opens, which is, Mr. Pick, we have no plans before us, city engineer, right, showing it opening anytime soon. It's something that will be evaluated at that time. In terms of additional traffic calming, I've received not only from Mayor Pro Tem Witten, but other complaints of people in Ashton Lakes and Park that our speed humps are very, very hard to see and also very challenging to get their cars over. And so we have some more work to do on the reflectivity of them, but that to install additional devices would be at the will of the neighborhood. Also, if they are interested in it, then it certainly can be studied. I don't know why at the time, and City Engineer Fraser may recall why one wasn't installed there, or is it in the vicinity of Watercrest and Ashton Lane? You don't recall? Okay. We're happy to look into it if people want to submit a petition and ask us to study it. But I wouldn't say a T'd intersection like that one isn't unusual. We can also study, I don't know what kind of volume's cutting through from 280 because it's certainly not faster to cut through.
Right.
So-
Okay, so maybe offline we can figure out
Sure.
another plan of, because it does need something. People don't pay attention if someone is turning or going straight, and then someone's waiting to make a left-hand turn onto Watercrest, and it can be confusing, and there are quite a few young people and walkers in that area. Additionally, isn't it my understanding that when the last traffic study that we did, that we have slated at some point in time in the future a traffic light at the intersection of 147, aka North College, and Ashton Lane?
Yes, the comprehensive traffic study conducted by Skipper Consulting did warrant a signal. I don't remember the year, but it is definitely something that's in that major transportation plan.
But it was projecting volumes over time, so it just depends on when that warrants. And even when it warrants, we've got to meet a different warning criteria because AlDOT controls whether or not we can build that.
Okay. So all that to say, Mr. Cosgrove, we will be working in it, and it's certainly on my radar.
And I also want to remind everyone, if Watercrest does connect, that also gives the residents there other options to get out all the way. So while you think volumes are coming in, volumes will be probably more people from Ashton Lakes and Park will be going out through the Cary Creek development. So that's all taken into account, but we'll be happy to look at a signal when warranted.
Thank you.
Who'll be next?
I'm Robert Wilkins, 261 Denson Drive, Auburn, Alabama. I wanted to say something to the three that are leaving. Councilwoman Stevens, you kind of ended up being a pinch hitter for Mr. Smith. He didn't go to Washington. He went to Orlando. So it was great to see you for a little while. And also, Councilman Hovey, I assume you'll have a good chance of being our next senator for the area. And if you are, please consider, like they do in the state of Georgia, they have a statewide dealing with short-term rentals. And then Stephen, I felt like, not Stephen, excuse me, Councilman Dixon, Stephen, and a friend. I appreciate you representing our ward, Ward 5. It has been a pleasure. I know it's been difficult for you to have even some of your council people not feel as strong about you as it went along because of the lawsuit. And I also know that you had some really strong supporters when you first ran, and they ended up being against you. And that's tough. That's tough. You showed perseverance and you showed strength, and I appreciate that as representing Ward 5. I look forward to Sonny representing us, and but we won't forget you. And I appreciate it a bunch, and I wish all of you, of course, I'll see all of y'all next week. So y'all take care. Thanks.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Anyone else?
Mayor Anders, ladies and gentlemen of the council, Herbert Walter Denmark Jr., 412 Opelika Road, Apartment 111. I would first like to thank all of the council for serving the last 4 years. I know it's been difficult in a lot of ways, but we appreciate your service and putting yourselves online, even over issues that the citizens don't agree with, or even yourselves don't always agree with. But we thank you that you're willing to serve the city of Auburn and give up your time and your patience and your resources, especially to Ms. Stevens and Mr. Hovey and Mr. Dixon and even Mr. Parsons in his absence. I did have a question about the parking at Felton Little Park, and it dawned on me as I was walking home last night from the downtown trick-or-treat. I'm not sure if that parking, not across the street, at the park, I'm not sure if that's public parking or if you park there, say, during game day weekends or anything like that. are you supposed to pay for? Because I know a lot of people park there for a lot of reasons, and I just, if you could look into that, or if you have an answer to that, if you would address us on that, I would appreciate it. Because someone may ask, and I might be around, and I don't want to tell them the wrong information. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Crouch, Felton Little is open to the public during the week, correct?
It's open to the public in general at this time, and that needs to be a caveat. We're having a number of issues with parking not being available in this complex and across the street because we have adjacent multifamily residential that is now using it as their full-time parking. And so I imagine the next 26 city council may need to entertain some ideas from staff about how we manage that. We have long encouraged, and we have a lot of downtown employees that park this way, but our intent was for it to be temporary parking, as in daily parking for people, not monthly or yearly parking for people. And I don't mean that cars don't circulate, but a lot of people are using it as their parking solution instead of paying some of the adjacent complexes. And we are running out of parking for things that we need around here, including ball games at Felton Little because of it. So we're probably going to have to make a move coming up to address it. I don't know what that is yet. But it's correct that it's public parking 24/7, 365 right now, unless otherwise posted.
Anyone else?
Good evening, City Council. Ty Torbert, 900 West Glen Avenue. On the topic of traffic issues and road problems, I'm currently moved in. I'm a college student here at Auburn. I'm living at the Union, and the intersection on West Glen Avenue and Hemlock Drive has a little bit of a blind spot as you're leaving the parking deck of the Union on Hemlock. I think it could be useful to entertain looking at maybe adding a four-way stop there. Obviously, decision's up to y'all at the end. I just have been talking to a lot of people that also live at the same complex, and we do feel like it's only a matter of time before a major wreck does happen there. Anyways, on that same topic, some cars are already trying to treat it like a four-way stop as it is, which really makes me mad, because like, why are you stopping when you have the right of way? But that's on that topic. And then additionally, on Toomer Street in between 320 West Mag and the Lambda Chi Alpha Fraternity House, the road is pretty bumpy, and I think it could benefit a little bit of repavel there. And one last topic, the light at North Donahue Drive and West Glen Avenue, I think the timing of that light could be readdressed. When you're on West Glen, sometimes your wait can get pretty lengthy there when the traffic is backed up during the rush hour and whatnot. But yeah, that's all. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Yep, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, is there a move to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, we're adjourned.